Debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
At 8 p.m. tonight, as promised, we're digging deep into the investigation into the BMW luxury killing. We're doing things the Delhi police is refusing to. At 8:30 p.m. tonight, a Jaish terrorist open admission has left Pakistan exposed. Can they deny the terror state nexus anymore? At 9 p.m. tonight, a 1-hour special on why #India needs Modi. Some special guests, very special guests are joining me tonight. Stay tuned. And ladies and gentlemen, why is it that the Republic Network has to do what the police should? Why is it that the Republic Network has to do in Delhi what the Delhi police should? Why is it that the Republic Network had to do in Pune after the Pune Porsche case what the police in Pune should have? It is because I feel sometimes these prosecution agencies, the police, follow a convenient pattern of a cover-up. Ladies and gentlemen, cover-up after cover-up in the Delhi BMW luxury killing case documents are confirming that the accused father, here is the 50-year-old, 57-year-old man, the Deputy Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, lying dead on the roads, ladies and gentlemen, and the person who killed him takes him to a hospital where her father is a director, which directly, in my view, links the family to the facility where the victim was taken. What more proof do you need? Ladies and gentlemen, this lady killer, Gaganpreet Kaur, is so dangerous that after killing the bureaucrat who was critically injured, she drove him 19 kilometers to the hospital where her father is a director, bypassing the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Hospital, bypassing the Maharaja Agrat Sen Hospital. She shoved the victim, who she had killed, into the luggage space of a bystander's van. She refused proper medical help. The wife of the deceased kept begging her, "You've killed my husband, now let me take him to a proper hospital." She said no. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have visuals, sir, of Navjot's wife hugging his body. And I want to tell you tonight, the entire so-called system has let this man down. He spent over 30 years serving the government of India. Today, nobody in the government of India is coming out to speak for him. Nobody in the government of India is coming out to fight for him. It is left to Republic to question, whereas all the authorities should be raising these questions. Ladies and gentlemen, the very question that you kill a man and you drag him to a hospital where your husband, where your father is a director, then you try to fudge the medical legal certificate. You tell the hospital staff not to discuss these issues, and you create the biospecimen record to give a clean chit to the accused out here. Can you deny the criminal intent? This lady is very rich, maybe one of many BMW vehicles she owns. So she feels today that the system is for the killer and against the person who has been killed. This is unfortunately the reality of this country today. The son of the victim says, if they had taken my father to a nearby hospital, he would have been saved. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask tonight, I will do my role. When will the police in this country do theirs? Ladies and gentlemen, when will they wake up? Only when you put sufficient pressure. So we open the phone calls for the next 20 minutes, viewers, and I want you to be involved in my debate. I want you to be with me completely so that we raise our voice and stop this cover-up. We make an example of this. Let's debate.
An honest government officer, a grounded deputy secretary who never flaunted his position in society. Navjot would have retired in a few years for what has been a distinguished career. He would have been alive if this killer BMW driver Gaganpreet didn't run over him. He perhaps would have lived if he was taken to a hospital nearby and not 19 kilometers away. The exact question that even Delhi police has not bothered to ask.
Mr. Singh, why are you evading questions? Why are you evading questions, Mr. Singh? Is Delhi police trying to save the accused in this case? How are you taking the investigation? Why are you evading questions? Mr. Singh, you have to answer. Excuse me, Mr. Singh. Mr. Singh, आपने कस्टडी क्यों नहीं, पुलिस ने कस्टडी के लिए फाइट किया फॉर ये गगनप्रीत की कस्टडी के लिए? क्या एक अटेम्प्ट किया गया था क्या कि उनको फेस वैल्यू पे क्यों लिया जा रहा है? आपने कस्टडी के लिए क्यों नहीं लड़ाई किया, मिस्टर सिंह? मिस्टर सिंह, क्या फेस वैल्यू पे लेने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं आप लोग? इन्वेस्टिगेशन कहाँ आगे बढ़ रहा है आप ये बता पाएंगे, क्योंकि अभी तक पुलिस के साइड से ये नहीं स्टैब्लिश हो पाएगी क्या लिंक है. तो अब ये इन्वेस्टिगेशन क्या ये एक तरीका है क्या टू गो सॉफ्ट ऑन द अक्यूज? इज दिल्ली पुलिस नॉट गोइंग टू आंसर? मिस्टर सिंह, इज दिल्ली पुलिस चूजिंग नॉट टू आंसर? व्हाई डिड दिल्ली पुलिस नॉट टेक द कस्टडी yesterday? मिस्टर सिंह,
The reason why Gaganpreet took Navjot to a hospital 19 kilometers away, which the Delhi police has chosen to stay quiet on, has now been exposed by Republic. It's not just Gaganpreet's father. Her uncle is also connected to the hospital.
गगनप्रीत के मामा का हॉस्पिटल है या फिर मामा हॉस्पिटल उनका है, रिलेटिव है, वो आती रहती है यहाँ पे, लक्ष्मी आती है, मैं देखा नहीं, अंदर अंदर है, अंदर बाहर से बाहर अंदर मुझे पता ही नहीं. वो मामा ये है, मम्मी इतना नहीं पता, रिलेटिव है, इतना पता है, मोटा मोटा
If you see, the incident took place in the southwest district of Dhaulakua area near metro pillar number 67, and from there the victim was taken over here in the Mukherjee Nagar area. This is the GTB Mukherjee Nagar area where this hospital is, and here you can see this is the information that we have received. And after that, the victim's son has also claimed that if his father would have been taken to a different hospital, if any government hospital or any super specialty hospital, then his life could have been saved.
Despite adding different sections and claiming tampering of evidence, why did Delhi police not seek her custody? Is Delhi police hand in glove with the killer driver? What explains their actions in this case?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a very strange situation here today where there has been a cover-up of the luxury killing, and people are feeling helpless today. Yashovardhan Azad, I want to start with you. Neelam Krishnamurthy, PK Jain, Yashovardhan Azad and PK Jain, both very senior retired IPS officers. Aniket Ujjwal Nigam is on one side, emerging, very smart criminal lawyer from Mumbai, and Advocate Ashutosh Srivastav, who has been the lawyer in the Pune Porsche case. So they'll do their job as lawyers out here. But can we do nothing? I'm opening up the lines here today that we have been able to establish, Mr. Azad, through our investigation, that the accused in this case who drove the BMW picked him up when he was critically ill and dragged him in a van without medical facilities almost 20 kilometers to GTB Nagar to a hospital where her relative is a director. So in that sense, can she not be charged with murder?
Well, definitely, it's the worst thing you can do is not to take the seriously injured victim to the nearest hospital. That is the rule. In fact, Delhi government itself has said in very serious cases, they should be taken to the nearest hospital and they will get free treatment or whatever. So the very reason, the intent behind it was absolutely malified, and I totally agree, because driving a critical victim, they have charged him with culpable homicide to murder, but there are other charges that they have to be added, because this was a kind of a culpable, there was an intent behind it to sort of save yourself. And you tell me now that the toxicology reports, etc., has been proved nil or something. I think it should be examined again. In fact, everything, all the parameters should be examined again. But the most important part, Arnab, is that there should be an inquiry if this person in that golden hour, within that golden hour, whatever they say,
the first 40 minutes, the first half an hour.
And if the life would have been saved, then definitely this woman needs to be charged, because you can't just drive BMWs like this. I'm glad you did the last case also in Pune, wherein that they were being offered bribes. And inevitably what happens is that the institutions of ours, like police stations, municipalities, the moment they see somebody who's very wealthy or powerful on the other side, they slightly start bending or use law forcefully in a way that benefits them rather the victim. So this is a clear intent. I totally agree with you that this was very, very bad and malified on the part of the accused.
But you know, the police says we're going by technicalities. There's nothing here. It's an accident case, 2 days. They did not even ask for police custody. See, on a case like this, Aniket, obviously you have to interrogate the individual. You have to find out what the person did, what is their intent. Now, the real issue is of intent. To establish intent, you have to interrogate the person, go back, link up the case. But the police has not asked for custody, which means she will be out tomorrow.
Yes, I mean, even in
that they did not seek the police custody, but let me also tell you as a lawyer
that is
that under the new BNSS Act,
what happens is that in certain cases the judges don't give you police remand, but there's
but
no
you should
harm
ask
in
for
asking
it.
for a
Okay,
police
one
remand.
Aniket,
Times
yeah,
have
Aniket,
changed and situations are different. So
Arnab, they should ask for it. Even if the accused has been remanded to judicial custody, the police can still make an application seeking her custody, because that is what the new BNSS law is, which is the erstwhile Code of Criminal Procedure. Apart from that, let me tell you, Arnab, that the police have invoked the charge of culpable homicide. Now, what they also need to investigate and look into is that when she came to know that because of a rash and negligent act, somebody has met with a very dreadful accident, instead of taking him to a nearby hospital, she consumes a lot of time to take him to a hospital which is 19 kilometers away. So what really turns on is the intent. So what was the intent behind it? Because when the incident occurred, she had the knowledge that this is the incident that has occurred, and because of my rash driving, somebody has been grievously injured. Now, instead of taking that injured victim to a nearby hospital, she chooses him to take to a hospital which is 19 kilometers away. What was the intent behind it? Was it to conceal her act? Was it to lead her to a situation where the deceased or with the injured victim would not be in a position to speak when he is ultimately admitted to the hospital? Because in such situations, dying declarations assume a lot of importance. If he would have been taken to a nearby hospital and if he would have been in a speaking condition, he would have informed to the doctor what exactly transpired. But in this case, by the time he reached the hospital, probably he was not in a position to speak at all. So all these dots, all these points will have to be investigated by the police. I'm surprised that they have not sought their custody, police custody. I'm not well aware whether they really sought or not sought. But even if they have not sought so far, they should now seek the custody, considering the subsequent conduct of this accused. Because let me also complete my point, Arnab, just 10 more seconds.
Sure.
This subsequent conduct assumes a lot of importance under the Evidence Act. How an accused reacts in a given situation would reflect as to the mens rea of that accused. So what was the intent? Was it really to prolong the incident, and was it really to reach him to a point where he would not be in a position to speak or give a dying declaration? Will assume importance, and therefore the police should look into this angle as well.
I just want to, I want to broad base this discussion and go forward, and I'm opening up to lines. The danger here is this. Forget the technicality. You, your loved one, anyone could be hit on the road. If you're injured, and you're not in a position to decide for yourself because you will be stunned, you'll be in trauma. It will be a moment when you're not capable of taking decisions on your own. You're feeling helpless. And there's always a moment. Ask any accident victim, if your car is banged, if it gets hit, there are the first few minutes you're not able to react. Now, at that time, the person who has hit you or is injured you can pick you up against your will, take you to wherever they want, decide whether you live or die. And if they are connected to some hospital or police station, arrange for their own clean chit while you may suffer death. This is the brutality of the situation. I have Sriram from Bengaluru coming in. Sriram, can I have your thoughts on this? Sriram. Sriram.
Yes, good evening, Arnab.
Good evening, Sriram.
How are you, Arnab?
Very well, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job.
Thank you, sir.
Arnab, this is previously it was Puna's case.
Yes.
Now this one. I entirely, you are doing a great job. You are doing a police work, Arnab. I don't know what to say. There are few people like you who are taking the things up.
Thank you, sir.
And what is that? Questioning people.
Thank you, sir.
Especially the police.
Thank you, sir.
Arnab, my thing is, first of all, they should have one rule, is that any accident takes place.
Yes, sir.
The concerned person who is injured has to be taken to the nearest hospital.
Yes, sir.
This rule has to be brought into force.
Yes, sir.
So that's it. And
it's not happening, in this particular case, I'll tell you. Thank you, Sriram. The accused did not bother. Our investigation finds Neelam Krishnamurthy that the accused did not bother to arrange for an ambulance for the injured victim. Instead, Navjot was thrown into the back of a porter van, right? And his wife, who was also injured, was thrown into the luggage space of the vehicle. This woman, who's I think the woman who has carried out who's the accused, sits in the front seat, seizes the mobile phone of the man called Gulfam, begins dictating the route, takes them through Azadpur, ignoring all the hospitals that could have provided immediate treatment. And then he dies when he reaches the hospital 20 kilometers away. What do the facts tell you here? Neelamji.
Can you ask them to clear the audio?
Neelamji, can you hear me?
I've just lost the...
Okay, you lost the audio there. Let me take the same question to...
Can't hear anything.
Let me take the same question to PK Jain out here. PK Jain, I'm flooded with calls tonight. Are we that helpless? Can we not put pressure on the police to reopen the case in the way they should?
The audio is very... I can't hear anything.
See, the case has to be investigated properly. Harshvardhan has... I'm sorry.
Yashovardhan.
Yashovardhan, my colleague, has already pointed it out. There is certainly something sinister. Her call record should be checked, whom all she contacted during that period.
Correct.
Was she advised to take him to the injured to a particular hospital and waste time? Because all those things could be manipulated at the hospital, his dying declaration, his treatment, the report that would be generated, all those things now come under scrutiny. I think it's a very, very serious case. Instead of trying to save that life, she's already, tried to kill the case. And the second thing the police has done is not taking her, asking for her custody, is again absolutely, in my opinion, inexcusable. I mean, they should have at least asked for the custody, got her medically examined. All those, the entire investigation should have proceeded in the way it should proceed, which apparently has not been done. So I think there's something fishy about it. Okay. They should also find out as to what kind of connection would...
We're getting a lot of callers. Ashutosh Srivastav, you were the advocate in the Pune Porsche case out here. Beyond being an advocate, you're also a citizen out here. Isn't it a clear evidence of the intent being wrong here? You brought the victim to a facility where the evidence can be manipulated. In your case too, political influence was used to manipulate the evidence. In the Pune Porsche case.
First of all, Arnab, I completely agree that it is a completely unfortunate incident. One life has gone. Now, so far as the allegation on this lady is concerned about taking the victim to a nearby hospital, I completely agree to that extent that she could have taken, the victim to a nearby hospital and there were chances that the life could have been saved. I completely agree to that point. Now, if you see, even there were, some people around. And I'm surprised that they were busy taking the videos in that situation.
That also
even
is
when the Supreme Court in 2016, Save Life Foundation has clarified that if anybody helps, the victim will not be made to be under investigation, and anybody should help in that situation. Now, I think the ambulance was also not informed immediately to come and take to the nearby hospital. And apart from that,
but Ashutosh,
so far as the police is
but
concerned,
Ashutosh, my question is, Ashutosh, I'm flooded with calls. People are very angry. People are extremely angry. Neelamji, can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can.
Yeah, Neelamji, my point is, law is about precedent. Here, if in this case, this lady gets away, we are creating a precedent. Anybody can hit anybody and take them to a place where they can fudge the records.
Absolutely.
And get away. And the police will not investigate the matter. She is being described by the police as a law-abiding citizen. How does the police know she's a law-abiding citizen? Does this make her a law-abiding citizen? Which side is the police on? Neelam Krishnamurthy, as the issues become greater, the questions become louder, your thoughts?
Arnab, first of all, I can empathize with the victims very well, and more so when the other side is rich and powerful. I think it's a very common thing in our country. When the accused are rich and powerful, they can manage the investigating agency. They even manage the courts. And I'm saying this with full responsibility. And I make a statement which I always make on the television debates, that is, justice has become a luxury which is accessible only to the rich, powerful and corrupt. So if they are doing this now, the others are going to learn. And the reason why she took him to the hospital where her father is a director is because they could manage things. They could, they could manipulate very well. Like one of your panelists said that, if he had to make a dying declaration, that could have been managed. Or, they thought they could probably make a deal with the victims in case something died and try to hush up the matter. They didn't want the full access to be given to the police. So I think the police has to come down very heavily. And it's very clear that the police is absolutely complicit with these victims because they're not asking for a police remand. They need to be questioned. Why is it that they're not being questioned? Why the police is not being questioned? Why aren't they asking for police remand? It's very rare. If it's a political case, they immediately ask for a police remand because they get a lot of publicity that, okay, they've sought 7 days police remand. Normally, the police people ask for 14 days remand. And the court says, no, we won't give you 14, we'll give you only 7 days.
But how can the police be so arbitrary? Neelamji, how is the police being so arbitrary? Are the people of India so weak? Are the people of India, is the anger among the people of India not important? I'll tell you one more thing.
Who cares about ordinary citizens, Arnab? I want to know who cares. Who cares? Please tell me. I'm struggling for the last 28 years. Please tell me who's bothered about it. Here the victims' families have died waiting for justice and the justice has not been delivered. Whereas the accused has become old, although convicted, and they're walking out free. For the accused, it's a win-win situation. Please tell me who's even bothered.
No,
about
they would bother if there was an election tomorrow. Am I right, Yashovardhan Azad? If tomorrow there was an election and Republic were doing this coverage, they would bother.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you because anything
and
which
also,
is
Arnab, I'd like to add one more thing.
Capital, then it really makes a lot of difference. And two things I want to just add is that in the process of that 19 kilometers, the distance which was traversed, two things happened. One, it made sure that the victim died, and the other was made sure that all the other evidence were fully tampered with. That means whether it's the toxicology report or whether it's anything, all the accused got so much time to prepare the defense of itself and everything. So that is a
I've got a breaking news input coming from Akhil and Shawan on this. Apparently the accused has put out very powerful lawyers into this case. Akhil and Shawan. Shawan and Akhil, over to you. Can you give a minute-long update?
Well, in fact, this is a bail application that has now been filed by accused Gaganpreet, and she clearly states that she was not at fault, something that the police has already bought this. This is the narrative that police bought, and that's exactly why
what does she talk about
now,
taking?
This is what she says.
But what does she say about taking Navjot 20 kilometers away?
She says that a passing tempo driver stopped at the spot and the applicant and her husband asked him if he can take them to New Life. The tempo driver put the motorcycle passengers into the same tempo, sustained.
But why New Life?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Why New Life?
Because the reality is this. The Delhi police yesterday sent out a notice to the hospital, said that give us the details of your ownership. Republic TV, within less than 24 hours, have actually proven the fact that Gaganpreet's father, Jaswinder, happens to be a director in that same very company, which the Delhi police is saying that first we'll look into the papers. We have put out the papers. The reason why she was taken, she had taken the victims to this particular hospital because this hospital is known to her, is actually owned. There is a shareholder.
Okay, one minute. One minute. Akhil, is the police under any pressure at all, or they felt they got away with it?
If you see initially what we have seen that the police has not seek custodial interrogation in this direction. And if you see, they have argued about the custodial interrogation is unnecessary. And she has said that this, it is very
but
clear.
It's so arbitrary.
That
it's so arbitrary, Akhil, to say custodial interrogation is unnecessary. It makes no sense. What can we do, Ujjwal Nigam? I'm sure you're a criminal lawyer and a fine one at that. But what happens now? What happens to the citizen? This will become a precedent for all across the country.
Arnab, in this matter, the order of judicial custody can be challenged by the family of victim. Now, it seems it's really the prerogative of the police to seek police custody, but for whatever reasons, if the police is not seeking the police custody, the family of the victim can file.
But Aniket, the police has to be answerable to someone.
100%. Therefore, Arnab, therefore, they will have to probably file a writ petition in High Court seeking directions against the police, probably seek.
Yeah, but it becomes difficult for citizens to fight alone. This is where the rich get away. The rich can keep hiring lawyers endlessly. Absolutely. A citizen can't go through the process. The process is the punishment. PK.
Yeah, I agree with you, Arnab. It is impossible for the victims who are already in grief that they would seek lawyers. See, Aniket would know very well that in case once the judicial custody is granted or bail is granted, it is extremely difficult for the victim or anybody to get their custody again. It is all hypothetical. It is theoretical. I have seen very, very minuscule of cases where
I'll just interject here for a while, Jain Saab. Under the
once bail has been granted, the victim's lawyer can go to the court, but they will keep on fighting endlessly. That is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
You will also experience the same thing. Cancellation of bail is a very, very difficult process and a very lengthy process, very expensive one on top of that.
Under the new law, the police can still seek police custody. Even if the accused has been remanded to judicial custody, the police can still seek police custody, and I believe
they can.
I agree with you. Technically, that is correct.
Should bring the moral pressure upon them to act fairly.
We are only putting moral pressure. You know, can I tell you one thing, Aniket? You go to my newsroom, see the number of calls right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
The lines are burning with calls.
This is really.
I got Anil calling from Delhi. Anil, what do you think, Anil?
Arnab, good evening. Yesterday on your channel, I heard that, she's lost control of the car and, it toppled and she hit everyone. But two things out here, like, every police station or every zone has a command center where they're seeing live footage being transmitted. And you see this lady taking these two people 19 kilometers away, no police gypsy stopping them or intervening on the way, number one.
Anil, the police has not released the CCTV footage. They must. Sorry, I got a caller from Mumbai. Shailesh Bhatia from Mumbai. Shailesh, what do you think?
Sir, Arnabji, I am absolutely appalled by the way the police is behaving, not only in Delhi and Bombay. Similar case where Leelavati Hospital is close by, but they take them to Cooper Hospital because there is fudging happening. This is exactly
that's the problem
that has been set across the country.
That's the problem. So we must not be helpless, Shailesh. I want to make an example of this. Shailesh, I want to make an example of this. Subhash is calling from Delhi. Subhash.
Yes, at the same place in Delhi, Kent, my wife met with an accident.
Okay.
She was having a head injury, and within 5 minutes, she was taken to the army hospital. Within 5 minutes, she was taken to the army hospital. From there, she was taken to the Deen Dayal hospital. From there, she was taken to the RML hospital. So my point is, the victim should have been taken to the army
exactly,
hospital.
sir. The army hospital could have treated her. Deen Dayal Upadhyay hospital could have treated her. You are taking her, I think, to GTB Nagar, which I don't know where, near Mukherjee Nagar or somewhere, I think. It's another side of town. I just feel so sorry for what has happened. So, Neelam Krishnamurthy, I give you the last word tonight. Neelam Krishnamurthy, I don't want people in this country to feel this will happen to them. I don't want people in this country to feel helpless anymore. I want the government to open and speak up about this. I want the Supreme Court to intervene.
Arnab, for that, what we need is the courts to come down heavily. Like the courts have given directions to the High Court, listen to the bail application within 2 months. Similarly, they should give directions in accident cases or any disaster. Start deciding the cases within about 1 to 2 years.
Yes.
And where the police is complicit, they should come down heavily on them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are we going to do? And nothing else moves in this country except unless there are Supreme Court directions. The
Correct.
government doesn't want to do anything. The politicians don't want to do anything. The only thing that works in this country is a public outrage. And we have seen it happening in Nirbhaya case. The case was decided exactly in 1 year, right up till the Supreme Court, because there was a massive public outrage.
There is public
Can we
outrage.
afford to have a public outrage for every case? No, it's not possible.
There is public outrage. The problem is,
justice, let there be a public outrage.
the problem is, I don't know what the rest of the media is doing on this. I thank you very much. And Shawan, you're doing a fine job with your reporters there. We're going to stay focused on this. Ladies and gentlemen, public outrage, it's there. It's very much there. We need to channelize it in the right direction. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to my second focus, the terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammed has for the first time openly been forced to admit that family members of its chief Masood Azhar were killed during our strike on Bahawalpur as part of Operation Sindoor. These confessions also exposed Pakistan's army and its terror nexus. Here is a summary of what has happened, then we debate.
Operation Sindoor was India's response to the Pahalgam terror attack and Pakistan's worst nightmare. Nine targets, one mission to bring down those who unleashed bloodshed on Indian soil. Months after the successful operation, a Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist laid bare the deep-rooted collusion between Pakistani army and terrorists. Hear what Masood Azhar's close aide Ilyas Kashmir had to say on September 14th. When bodies were taken out of Bahawalpur in coffin, Army Chief issued an order from the government headquarters that they should be saluted for their sacrifice. He confessed that the Pakistan Army Chief ordered salutes for those killed in Bahawalpur.
ये क्या था? ये टेररिज्म, ये दहशतगर्दी की बकवास सीने के साथ लगाए इस मुल्क की नजरियाती जुग्राफियाई सरहदों के लिए कभी हम दिल्ली से टकराए, कभी हम काबुल में टकराए, कभी हम कंधार से टकराए। सब कुछ कुर्बान करने के बाद 7 मई को भावलपुर के अंदर मौलाना मसूद अजहर की फैमिली के लोग बहने और बेटे और बच्चे रेजा रेजा हो गए, टुकड़ों में तकसीम हो गए।
These are pictures from May 2025, showing Pakistani army personnel and Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorist Hafiz Abdul Rauf, a US designated terrorist, leading the funeral of eliminated terrorists. The most concrete proof of the Munir army's ties to Pak terror networks. While Pakistan stands globally exposed on harboring and exporting cross-border terrorism, the old guards of top terror outfits are exposing the alliances. And not just this, Islamabad's bluff has been called out yet again. The commander has admitted that the family of Masood Azhar, the terror group's top commander, was torn into pieces in strikes in Bahawalpur. The confession of state terror nexus is out, It is only a matter of time that a few remaining Pak sympathizers smell the coffee.
Well, I have with me today, we have Deepak Vora with us, Ambassador Deepak Vora. Thank you very much. So good to see you after such a long time, Not seeing you for a month makes it feel like an eternity. General G.D. Bakshi is with us. General Bakshi, good evening, sir. And I can tell you, viewers, General Bakshi, good evening, sir. I can tell you, viewers, General Bakshi is a national treasure. He's a national treasure. And he is going to be coming out with the most amazing book on Operation Sindoor.
Yes.
And we can't wait for that book to be in our hands. And General Bakshi, we're looking forward to that. Can you hear me, sir?
Thank you. I can, Arnab, I can.
Thank you, sir.
Very much.
Sir, we have with us Dr. Hamid Khan, journalist from Pakistan, and Abdul Samad Yaqub as well of the PTI. Abdul Samad Yaqub, this terrorist Masood Ilyas Kashmiri of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, he has admitted what the Pakistan government is denying, what the Pakistan army is denying. He says that the missile came, it hit the spot, and the whole family of Masood Azhar was wiped out, which means why they were staying there in that camp. Till now, the admission was that they was not there. They said that the missiles did not hit anything. But this admission comes from this terrorist himself in a speech. Why is the Pakistan government denying what Ilyas Kashmiri is admitting?
Well, the source currently, Masood Ilyas Kashmiri, is more credible than the other official source or the government source. So I endorse him. Yes, the sister of Maulana Masood Azhar, the husband of the, brother-in-law of the Masood Azhar, फिर दो भांजिया मसूद अजहर की, फिर एक भांजा मसूद अजहर का, and then भांजी का बेटा, then भांजी मसूद अजहर की बहन का दामाद, son-in-law of the sister of Masood Azhar. These are the immediate family of the Masood Azhar, which was which got killed in that incident, and there were various other numbers of the extended family of the total. The estimation is like 18 to 20 people which got killed over there. But the immediate family was the sister, brother-in-law, two nieces, one nephew, and then their son and their son-in-law. So these are the confirmed immediate.
So from a strategic standpoint, I go across to General Bakshi. This admission by Ilyas Kashmiri is a big confirmation, isn't it, sir, that the May 7th target was a terror target, and the missiles hit right on the spot, because Jaish has put out an official confirmation that the strikes hit indeed the terrorist camps.
Absolutely, Arnab. You see, the point was that in 2016, we had carried out the surgical strikes, right? And at that stage, we wanted to send a message over.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately for us, the targets we had chosen were in dense jungle, no population, no media around. And Pakistan denied, nothing happened. Then 2019, we hit Balakot. And Pakistan, once again, it was a remote location. Pakistan denied. You have killed crows and pigeons, right? This time we decided to hit them exactly where their palatial terror headquarters were. Markaz-e Subhanallah in Bhavalpur, 110 kilometers from the international border. Markaz-e Tayyiba in Lahore, headquarters of the Lashkar-e-Toiba, where the entire planning for 26/11 training, etc. were done. We hit these main terror targets, blasted them out, 5 targets in POK, 4 in the heartland of Punjab. so that the Pakistani media, the Pakistani people could see and count the crows, the pigeons and the little
let
birds.
me make one point clear here.
But in that, especially in Bawalpur, almost the
let Jalal Bakshi complete, please. Abdulji, let him complete and then you come in. Yeah.
And I'll just finish.
Yes, sir.
You see, the simple fact was that Masood Azhar was heard crying his heart out to the Pakistani media कि Allah Ta'ala ने मुझे भी उठा लिया होता, मुझे क्यों छोड़ दिया. That is a fact, right? We are not happy to see people die, but the simple fact is that people who get innocents murdered, they must realize the pain. They must feel the pain in their own turn. Indians are not there for slaughtering. Indians are not there for killing. And the clear message is, any act of terror will henceforth be deemed an act of war. That is the clear Modi doctrine enunciated after Op Sindoor. And to hell with the nuclear backdrop, we will not let that deter us. And we will not distinguish between the so-called non-state and state actors.
Yes, absolutely not, sir.
You just showed how lieutenant generals, major generals,
they were at the last
funerals
yes.
of globally designated terrorists.
Yes. Sir, absolutely. I want this non-state. I would, before I go to Deepak Vora, I think Irshad wants to comment, and Abdul Samad, you want to come in with something briefly, I think, out there.
I want to respond. I mean, these were civilian casualties. They were innocent people. They have nothing to do with the terrorism. Those, the family of the Masood Azhar wasn't involved in any kind of terrorism.
Deepak Vora must respond to that. Deepak Vora. I got your point. I want Deepak Vora to respond to that.
You cannot punish someone else cries to someone.
And when you carry out 26/11, you were looking for specific targets?
Those 26 were innocents and must be...
When you carried out, when you sent Kasab, you were looking for military targets?
You cannot kill the father of Kasab because he was not involved.
No. But when you sent Kasab into five-star hotels in Delhi, you were looking for what?
How can you kill the sister of the Masood Azhar?
No. One minute. When the Americans, 1 minute, I would like to ask you, sir, please 1 minute. You see, when you gave sanctuary to Osama bin Laden, and when the Apache helicopters came in from the Americans and the Marines came in, were there civilian casualties? Did you go crying to America at that point of time? That why were Osama bin Laden's relatives targeted? Is it a valid question, sir? Deepak sir.
They were accompanied by Osama bin Laden. Their 3 wives were present over there. Osama bin Laden's children were present over there, and they were taken into the custody, and they were for a few months.
Really? Tell me where they were. You 1 minute. Where in Islamabad? You claimed you did not even know where Osama bin Laden is. How did you know where his family was? You just gave it away. Deepak Vora, the importance of what? The importance. Deepak Vora on the importance of Ilyas Kashmiri's comment today. He's a top Jaish commander. Yes, please. Deepak Vora.
Thank you very much, sir. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Likewise.
I imbibe energy.
Sir, thank you, sir.
When I'm next to you, son. Thank you.
You can tell him, sir.
Now, what this gentleman, Manus Ilyas, not Manus.
Masood
Ilyas.
Manus Ilyas.
Whatever he has said. I see 3 things in this, sir. One, he has fallen out with his controllers in the Pakistani army because he's not getting the funds that he thought he would get, basically because they don't have the money to give him anymore, and he has outlived his utility. We know who the fellow is, we know whose cadres are, we are eliminating them ruthlessly. The second thing, sir, I believe that the mullah who claims to be the full marshal of Pakistan, I think he's losing his grip. Otherwise, this Ilyasi character wouldn't have dared open his mouth. He would have been, run over by a truck or a bus or something like that. He would have been eliminated.
Sir.
The third thing, what I just heard, saying you killed innocent people, this is exactly what Pakistan's official line is going to be starting tomorrow, that look, there were, these terrorists, they didn't kill, they killed innocent people. So the innocent people were the civilian shields for the terrorists. What were they doing in a terror training center? Eating chole bhature. The reality is that this argument is now going to become the official narrative that the Indians actually didn't kill the big guy, they killed his family. Well, it's what you yourself, the Americans, call collateral damage. If you're hiding behind your women, what do you expect anyone to do? This is what this brave mullah, whatever his name is, was doing, hiding behind his women.
Hiding behind his family members. I'd like a response from Ishad. Ishad ji, you are here on the program today. आप तो डिनाई कर रहे थे. आपने कहा था कहीं पे हिट नहीं हुई. यहाँ पे रोना धोना चल रहा है जैश ए मोहम्मद के स्टेज पर.
बहुत शुक्रिया जी. पहले तो मैं कहूंगा कि ये जो आपने पुलवामा वाला एक ड्रामा रचाया हुआ है पिछले 3-4 माह से, आप चाहते क्या है, करना क्या चाहते हैं? पहले तो ये है कि देखें, अभी अब्दुल समद याकूब भी कह रहे थे
अब्दुल समद याकूब
लोगों को मारा आपने, शहीद किया, मस्जिद में सोए हुए बच्चों को, बच्चियों को, बुजुर्गों को आपने मार दिया. लेकिन जो आपका मकसद था उसमें पूरे नहीं हुए. आपने बकौल आपके और मेजर गौरव आर्या के, आपने लाहौर के समंदर पे भी कब्जा कर लिया था, बंदरगाहें भी आपने कब्जा करनी थी लाहौर की जाकर के, और नूर खान एयरबेस भी आपने फोड़ दिया था. देखें सर, 9 टेरर कैंप अटैक किए थे. आपने कहा था आपने टेरर कैंप अटैक नहीं किया, तो फिर जैश ए मोहम्मद के स्टेज पर इसको लेके एक मिनट पहले आप अब्दुल समाद याकूब और जीडी बख्शी के साथ डिबेट कीजिए. आपने अब तक कहा कि बहावलपुर में कोई अटैक नहीं हुई, मुरीदके पे कोई अटैक नहीं हुई, और हमने कहा नहीं 100 वहां पे आतंकवादी मारे गए. आपने कहा कोई इंपैक्ट नहीं हुआ. एक मिनट, आप झूठ क्यों बोल रहे हैं पाकिस्तान के लोगों को? आप झूठ क्यों बोलते हैं उनको? आपकी एयर डिफेंसेस कहां थी? मुझे बोलने दें.
आपकी एयर डिफेंसेस कहां थी?
अगर आप बोलने
नाकाम क्यों हो गए आपके एयर डिफेंसेस?
अगर आपने शोर डाला, अर्नब, यही तो प्रॉब्लम है. आपकी प्रॉब्लम यह है कि दूसरे की आवाज को दबाने की कोशिश करते हैं. मुझसे सवाल किया, मुझसे जवाब लीजिए. मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूं, मैं शोर नहीं कर रहा हूं, मैं आर्गुमेंट करना चाहता हूं आपसे बात कर. मैं ही कह रहा हूं कि मौलाना मसूद अजहर की फैमिली को अगर आपने शहीद किया, जुल्म किया, पुलवामा में जो ड्रामा किया वो भी जुल्म किया कश्मीरियों के साथ. जिन लोगों को दहशतगर्द बनाकर के वहां मारा वो भी कश्मीरी थे जो आपकी जेलों में मौजूद थे. उनको मारा वो भी कश्मीरियों के साथ जुल्म किया आपने. अभी आप चाहे, अभी मुझे ये बताइए,
आपने मसूद अजहर और ओसामा बिन लादेन और दाऊद इब्राहिम को पाल के क्यों रखा है? आप बताइए मुझे. आप मुझे मत बताइए, जेल बख्शी को
मसूद अजहर का बाल बिका नहीं कर सकते आप. मसूद अजहर के
जेल बख्शी,
मसूद अजहर के को भी पकड़ सकते.
देखिए
बच्चों को
जनाब आली,
लोगों को मारा, आपने शहीद किया. लाठी बड़ी बेआवाज है. इंशाल्लाह इसका आपको बदला मिलेगा, इसका आपको जवाब देना पड़ेगा. जो लोग मस्जिद में शहीद किया आपने, बच्चे बच्चियां खवातीन, हम कब कह रहे हैं कि आपने मस्जिद पे हमला नहीं किया? हम कह रहे हैं मस्जिदों पे आपने हमला किया.
26/11 में
इबादतगाहों को
26/11 में
किया. मेरी
26/11 में आपने 175
डरते क्यों है?
निहत्थे आवाम मारे थे, औरतें, बच्चे, बूढ़े. ठीक है, नहीं, आप बड़े घड़ियाली आंसू बहा रहे हैं. आपने 26/11 में क्या किया था? उसके पहले जो 2003 के ट्रेन के ब्लास्ट हुए थे, उसमें जो 200 के ऊपर अफराद मारे थे, औरतें, बच्चे, बूढ़े, निहत्थे.
हम तो आपका फ्रॉड.
ठीक है साहब, आपने मारे ही औरतें, बच्चे, बूढ़े हैं यहाँ पे,
फ्रॉड की
और आप आज घड़ियाली आंसू बहा रहे हैं. हम तो ढूंढ रहे थे.
अब्दुल समाद याकूब is also on. I can see him say something. अब्दुल समाद याकूब,
वो अपने कमरे से निकल,
अब्दुल समाद याकूब, ऑडियो आप
चला गया.
ऑडियो आप.
मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ,
people were innocent were killed and you kill the innocent people. I mean, is it the justification that if 3,000 people were killed in the New York, in the Manhattan 9/11, then you killed 15 लाख बंदे आपने उधर मार दिए. यानी कि innocent से क्या किया जा सकता है कि जो लोग इन्वॉल्व ही नहीं. आप अगर सिविलियन पॉपुलेशन को अटैक करेंगे,
जेल बख्शी is bullet or something from his book. जेल बख्शी,
मैं आपको जरा नाम गिना दूं जो मरे हैं. 140 टेररिस्ट इन अटैक्स में मरे, जिसमें से कि मुदस्सर, ठीक है, वो शामिल है, और मैं आपको और नाम गिनाता हूं, खासकर जो यहाँ पे शहीद हुए हैं, जो मारे गए हैं। ठीक है
कि जो मसूद अजहर की इमीडिएट फैमिली और उसकी जो फैमिली मारी गई वो टेररिस्ट थी या नहीं थी?
नहीं, बख्शी दीपक बोरा,
what were they doing in the camp?
आप जरा नाम गिन।
अगर आपने मसूद अजहर को मारा होता तो कोलैटरल डैमेज कहा जा सकता था इसको। आप इसको कैसे कोलैटरल डैमेज के तौर पर जस्टिफाई?
सर वो क्या कर रहे थे in a place that is known to be...
जेल बख्शी,
मैं आपको वो नाम गिना देना चाहता हूं, स्पेसिफिक नाम, जो 6 हाई वैल्यू टारगेट्स वहां पे ठोक दी गई थी। 140 मारे गए थे टोटल, और मैं जरा नाम सुन लीजिए आप। ठीक है, मुदस्सर खादियान खास, इलियास अबू जिंदल, हाफिज मोहम्मद जमील, जैशे मोहम्मद यूसुफ अजहर, छोटा भाई मसूद अजहर का जिसे उस्ताद जी कहा जाता था, जो कि IC 814 की हाईजैकिंग में इन्वॉल्व था। खालिद एलायस अबू आकाशा, नटोरियस वेपन स्मगलर, और जिसने बहुत सारे टेररिस्ट हमलों में इन्वॉल्व था। उसका फ्यूनरल जो था वो आर्मी के सर्विंग ऑफिसर्स और पुलिस ऑफिसर्स फुल यूनिफॉर्म में आए थे। मोहम्मद हसन खान, जैशे मोहम्मद का, सन ऑफ मुफ्ती असगर खान, कारी मोहम्मद इकबाल, लश्करे तोयबा कमांडर, नोडल ऑपरेटिव फॉर कोऑर्डिनेटिंग टेरर ट्रेनिंग एंड इन्फिल्ट्रेशन, गली एंड कृष्णा घाटी। ठीक है, ये तो 6 टॉप कमांडर हैं। हमारे पास 140 नाम हैं और जो कि डेजिग्नेटेड टेररिस्ट थे, वेल नोन टेररिस्ट थे। ठीक है, हमने रात के 1 और 2 बजे के बीच में हमला किया ताकि कोई सिविलियन आसपास ना हो। ठीक है, सुन ले, वो अपनी फैमिलियों को आड़ लगा के
अब्दुल समाधान चाहिए, ओनली टू
हाईजैकिंग की थी,
यूजिंग देयर फैमिलीज एज शील्ड्स।
मसूद अजहर, एक मिनट, मसूद अजहर ने जब हाईजैकिंग की थी IC 814 की, तो क्या वो मिलिट्री को वहां पे हॉस्टेज रखा था कि सिविलियंस को? आप क्या बात कर रहे हैं? आज वही लोग कंप्लेन कर रहे हैं। जेल बख्शी, लुक एट द एग्जांपल। नहीं, यू कांट प्ले द विक्टिम नाउ। जेल बख्शी प्लीज, 1 मिनट, दीपक बोरा प्लीज, दीपक बोरा, यू मस्ट गिव इट बैक टू
ये लोग
बोलिए दीपक बोरा जी, बोलिए।
आप कह रहे हो कि वो इनोसेंट थे, मारे गए। वो टेरर कैंप में क्या कर रहे थे सर? Were they cooking food over there? We all know that they were terror training camps. They were identified. What were they doing there? Why did he keep them there and why did he run away himself? ये क्या मतलब है? कोई terror training camp हो, वहाँ एक बच्चे को बिठा दो जी, यहाँ नहीं हमला कर सकते। What kind of logic is this?
Amazing. Well, I'll only tell you this, sir. So 1 minute, sir. I'll tell you this. Remember what Masood Azhar did. Remember what he did in IC 814 hijack, और उस समय तो वो भाग गए थे। History comes back.
Karma.
History and karma come back.
बच्चों पे फायर खोला, क्या बकवास कर रहे हैं आप?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
हमको इंसानी हक।
जी, sorry to interrupt that. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to take a short break now. But at 9 o'clock tonight, we need to be clear about one thing. Tomorrow is the Prime Minister's birthday. I have no qualms in saying tonight, and neither should you, that India needs Modi. Without a doubt. Hashtag at this point of time in our history, with the challenges we are facing. Hashtag India needs Modi. See you. Thank you.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.